What a theme song. Gets me every time. All right. What are we going to talk about? Oh, going to talk about your audio.
All right, I'm back. I'm here.
Well, before we started, we were just talking. Well, I made you talk about all the things that I'm loving for fun recently.
Yeah.
College football and Tool, which I just discovered,
Cool.
which is not at all my kind of music. As anybody who knows me at all would be like, what? And I thought the same thing. And then about a minute into, I randomly saw them. I'd never heard them before on YouTube. About a minute into it, the metal groove started, and I knew about Danny Carey being the greatest drummer technically, but it was just such white music. And my people are offended, of course, by the theft centuries from minstrelsy on. But
your favorite music is all white music, though.
You know that Malcolm X was my complexion, everybody. So stop asking questions. Look it up. He had redder hair than I did.
He was a red man.
Yeah, but was Malcolm X not black?
Your favorite music is white, though. You like bossa nova.
Fuck you.
You like, yeah.
Wow, that's okay, Michael. Wow.
And you like Buddy Rich.
Really, first time you've insulted me on this show. And how many years we've been doing this?
It's fine.
Bossa nova. Wait a
and
minute.
Buddy Rich.
Is that bossa nova is not white?
Yeah, we've been over this.
It was made by the. Oh, right. Well, no. Okay.
Yeah.
This is people want to hear about the news.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and college football.
Yeah.
So this little fucker right here, sitting in Bloomington, Indiana. How far are you from the stadium?
Yeah, it's a walk. It's like a 20-25 minute walk.
You can walk. I have to take a plane to get to a decent college football stadium, and they beat a top 10 team in that stadium on Saturday, 63-10, I think. An incredible, coming out for Indiana Hoosiers. No one cares. All right. I just wanted to get that off my chest. When I'm not talking about death and destruction and disease and dead kids, that's what I do. And writing a book. That's the other thing I've been doing. That's why we're late. I'm sorry. I mean, this week. That's why we're on Friday. So, yeah, I mean, it's for people who are panicking again that I'm like not actually really finishing it. This is the second editing pass. So the manuscript's already been into the publisher and then they've given it back to me for revision. So I'm just finishing that. So it's in production. And it is still scheduled. Did I say this on this show? Maybe I shouldn't say it yet.
Okay.
It'll be published next year for sure, but I won't say. There's a spec where we're aiming for a particular publication date, which is a very special date. And I think we can hit it if I can get this thing done this weekend.
420.
Not bad.
Yeah.
That's Renegade history should have been dropped on 420. That's true.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that. So anyway, that's been so I've been pulling all-nighters, but it's actually been a lot of fun. It's a good book, I gotta say. It's nice to read it and feel very satisfied. And it should be. It's only taken me 13 years to write it.
Wow.
Well, 13. I've done a few other things in those 13 years. It wasn't like I never was able to ever work on it full time. That's why it's taken so long. And it's a ginormous project too. So, but that'll be coming. Thank you, Finest City Cycling. I can't either. I can't wait for it either. You were going to say?
A lot of people hate reading their own work or listening to themselves talk or watching their own stuff.
I love it. I can't get enough of it. Every show I watch it back and just stare at myself. I told you should do that. Although you're great on camera, so you don't. It's not like you need to, but I mean, it's really helpful. It's really helpful to actually watch yourself, and certainly to read. I mean, my students when I was teaching, when I was a professor in regular colleges and reading idiot undergrad papers, it was clear that not clear. They would tell me because I would ask them. The vast majority never even read it over once. Like they would just write and then turn it in. The quality can anybody under like your age write at all?
They can barely read.
It's incredible what's going on. I mean, I've been out of the academy for 7 years. Yeah. But it's really accelerated in those 7 years. I mean, my son, he reads and writes for a living, but he's my son, so he's probably unusual. And I think he is. I mean, even among his friends who went to college with him, and I don't know how they could be literate.
Yeah, and ChatGPT is writing everything now. I remember.
Right, and then on top of that, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
right, AI. I mean, being a professor now, like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine. It's just you're just reading AI all the time.
You use AI to grade their AI papers, is what's happening.
But they don't have. I don't think. Do they have detectors for AI text? I don't think they do.
They do, but it's it's a cat and mouse game. It's there are some things you can plug it into and it'll say 97% AI match, but you can
text.
Yeah, for text. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought they could only do it for images.
Yeah. It's tough.
Well,
but yeah.
Anyway, fun times. Yeah, and then I was just this guy who's actually here in the East Bay. I forget his name. Leighton Woodhouse interviewed him for his piece that we talked about on Unregistered. He runs some little tiny think tank, I think in Berkeley, whose mission apparently is to warn the world that AI is going to kill all of us. And that's I think we talked about this a few weeks ago after Leighton was on.
Leighton's on that. Leighton's on that tip.
No, he has a everyone should read Leighton Woodhouse Social Studies, his Substack. He has a great piece on it. It's just very subtle and nuanced, and he's sort of like just weighing it out and hearing there's 3 different camps, and there's the it will kill us all camp, which is about a third of people who are in Silicon Valley or who study it, and then a third who are like, there's a lot of danger, there might be some catastrophes coming out of it, but it probably won't kill us all. And then there's a third like me who are like, I don't see the evidence yet. I haven't really. I mean, the worst thing it does to me is like it invents stuff. I'll ask it a question like, what did so and so say about this or that? And it'll like say, oh, sure, George W. Bush said this or that and it'll even give me a date with a long quote saying, and it knows what I want it to. It sort of knows me, right? So it kind of knows.
That's the thing.
Yeah, and so it tells me, and I'm like, oh wow, George Bush said that. Write that down. Look at that guy. And then I'm like, let's check this. Go to Google, plug that in. Doesn't exist. Like he never said any of those words at all. Like, and he was doing something else on that day. Yeah, it does that repeatedly.
Which is why it's the perfect boyfriend.
Yeah.
Which is why.
I mean, yeah.
Which is why
I don't. Yeah. Well, so again, I'm still, believe it or not, still a techno optimist. On this, I'm an AI optimist. I think the net effects will be positive. It's first of all, I said this 20 years ago, but long before AI existed. When I was a professor at elite universities, right? So this is like purportedly the best students in the country. I was, 90% of them couldn't write then. I mean, they could write, but they couldn't write well at all. And clearly they had zero interest in doing this. 90% of the elite college students couldn't and didn't want to write or think about the ideas we were talking about. So, and I always thought, why are you even here? Why is this even, why are you in this class? Why are you in college? You should be doing something else. So who cares if it eliminates that whole class of undergraduates as having any sort of integrity? I mean, they shouldn't be in college in the first place. Why are they studying Plato? They have zero interest. And again, these are kids at Columbia, right? 90% would never think about that stuff ever again. And they hated writing, and they would never write anything. They would never write another essay as long as they lived. How many people watching and listening have written an essay since college, right? I mean, it's only a handful of people who are professional writers do that for the most part. So, and then I think the greatest boon is that for research, well, it's shaky, obviously, as I just said, it'll make up stuff and be wrong, but I'm sure I'm assuming that it'll improve the accuracy. And then also, even now, though, it's still helpful. It still accelerates as long as you do it carefully. The thing is, you have to be a very intelligent user of AI to use it well, accurately. But if you are, Yeah, I mean, I find it to be, yeah, it's certainly sped up research tasks of mine. It's just I have to make sure to check it every time.
Yeah.
That's like I do. Just Google it. Just Google what it gives you, and if you can't find it anywhere on Google, you can assume it was made up by AI. Sometimes it contradicts what's on Google, but so it's going to eliminate all the. It will make no longer a task sort of dutiful writing, the writing that people have to do, like for a website. You know, if they open a business, they've got to write like the menu for their restaurant, or they got to write like a thing for their website, like about their business, and they've never written a word in their lives. It's great. They no longer have to hire somebody to write for this. And people will forgive that. I mean, no one cares if there's a little AI writing on a restaurant menu. So I think the real writers, the professional writers, the serious writers who are creative and unique will never be challenged by it. And, you know, I got into an argument with Leighton about this in that podcast. He seems to think they will be able to replicate what is going to come out of my brain, but I think just the logic of that tells us there's no way there's an idea coming out of me in a second. There's no way it can anticipate that and write it before I do. So I'm going to put out stuff in the world that's completely original. It will then copy what I say and reiterate it, but no, it can't ever be original the way that original writers and thinkers and artists are. I just don't see it. It'll never be creative in that way. It can only, I think, by the logic of the machine itself, it can only reiterate, right? That's all it can do. It sucks in all this data, synthesizes it, and then pushes out the answer. That's not creating. It's creating a new synthesis, but the raw material it cannot create. The raw ideas, the raw ideas in art, in images, in writing, it cannot come up with, I don't think, new ideas that make sense to human beings. It could come up with new ideas, but they won't make any sense or be persuasive, I don't think. I just don't see it. It can reiterate old ideas in new ways, sure, but that's different. I mean, in other words, could AI, would it have invented Marxism in 1830, before Marx existed? Marxism, this ideology that transformed much of the world, for better or worse, one of the most influential ideologies in the modern era. Could AI have produced that then? No. Was it going to anticipate what Karl Marx did ultimately write and say? I don't see that. I mean, it could have done something around labor or something around class or something around, I don't know, but to produce that whole complex of ideology, I don't get it. What do you think? You think it's a demon?
Yeah, obviously. And it's also, it tells you what you want to hear. So it's a window for people to be affirmed.
Yeah, right.
My problem necessarily isn't the technology itself, but that people are going to break their brains with it. People are going to have AI lovers and AI companions. That's the thing I worry about. And
why do you care? I don't think it's going to be so widespread that it's going to affect you. Like you won't. It's not like you're not going to be able to get a date because all women are in love with their AI.
It's not that.
I'm in love with my chatbot. What a life. I think I've heard these things happening. I'm sure it's like a handful of people. It's basically insignificant. In a country of 350 million people, I just don't see that it's going to significantly impact the dating market, which is all that matters, right? To you, right? I mean, do you care if women who you don't want to date are at home masturbating to their chatbot?
Yeah, I don't like antisocial behavior. I think it's a.
So you want to force them to be? You want to force people to be social, huh? You commie? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's
okay, comrade. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
I think there
please don't put me in the gulag if I want to stay home on a Friday night, Michael.
Yeah, I think there are second order effects from people not interacting with humans, and people lose their humanity when they isolate themselves from human beings and fall in love with their own creations and create a world where
wow. So you just can't leave people alone, huh?
People can't leave me alone. It's just I'm stuck on this planet with people. And I want them to be able to make eye contact. That's what I care about.
Oh, well, yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a better way to put it. Like I want to live in a society in which no one is in love with their chatbot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's been some darker turns with this. But another thing on the market perspective is consumers just don't care about quality. And so it's going to churn out a bunch of crap, and the quality of art is just going to go down and down and down, and people won't care because they don't have the taste to discern good from bad.
Oh.
That's a problem I see.
So I don't know if anybody's ever written this book, but it should be written. But there's actually a Twitter account. I forget what's the name of it, that does this, which is to basically tell the history of technology scares, which start with the Industrial Revolution, late 19th century, the factories. But the automobile, when it came out in the 1910s, oh my God, there was a panic. It went all the way through the 1920s about what the automobile would do to the American family. Because all that would happen is all the teenagers would drive away and have sex in the car and never come home, which did happen more than ever. You know, that it's true that adolescents could actually escape their families, which they couldn't before so easily. If they're on a farm somewhere, which was that's what most of America was. And at that point, you know, yeah, I think that was good. Number one, that it did give adolescents who were unhappy living at home a vehicle of escape. And yes, the ability to have sex, which I think is fine for teenagers to do with each other. In general, I mean, not always, but yes. And I have long story, but anyway, I've tried to stop a family member who was a teenager, which was from having sex, but because that was a catastrophe. But no, in general, I think I'm all for that. And secondly, did the automobile dissolve the American family? The American family has been largely dissolved, but is it because of the automobile? Because of the 1910s? I don't think so. I mean, no one argues that now anyway. The radio, my God, it was going to destroy the minds of all Americans, because it gave sort of very similar arguments to what you're making about AI, which is going to dumb down everybody because we're just feeding from the trough. It's like a passive thing.
People are dumber.
Instead of reading and engaging with a text, it's just you're being talked to all the time. And people could be propaganda. It will also lead to totalitarianism because of that.
What was the 20th century?
So sort of a one-way didactic medium. Then the television, my God. And then the phonograph. I mean, all of it was like panic, very similar to what you're saying. And then the internet. I mean, we're still panicking about the internet. But there's always been a panic about the internet, and certainly when it started. So generally speaking, those fears have not panned out, or maybe
haven't they panned out?
Well, I guess that's what you would say.
Totalitarianism of the 20th century,
as a true reactionary, and I say that with affection, you know, right? I mean,
but like, you know. But the classic example is if you read like Civil War letters from an uneducated, like high school dropout, somebody who never even went to high school, somebody writing a letter home to their wife in the Civil War is eons above a PhD level literacy today. And you see a huge cultural decline as people stop
except
reading poetry.
The literacy rate in 1860, I think, was a lot lower than it is today. There was huge, I don't know what it was then, I'm not sure anyone knows, but we all know there were huge swaths of the country where most people were literally illiterate, where they could not read or write at all. I mean, that's when 70%, 80% of the country was living in a rural area without electricity, etc. And the school is, miles down the road, and they couldn't read or write at all. The vast majority of course, slaves and African Americans were illiterate. I mean, the so-called free blacks, even among them, it was really high. But among slaves, of course, it was like, I don't know, plus 95%. What are you talking about, dude? But all my ancestors, the crackers in the backwoods in North Carolina, they couldn't read either. Shit, my grandmother could barely read. She could read, but not well. I'm sure she couldn't write more than like a happy birthday card, which I got every year. I don't know. I think it's a little bit. I think you need to read up on your libertarian techno optimism a little more.
Techno optimism. I'm optimistic in general, but
just not on this.
Just I think there are serious things you have to just look out for. I think good people can and will use this technology for good. It's funny though. A big story in Indiana is we got the Republicans here to flip on a data center by Google being built. And that was the big populist revolt that happened here recently is
right.
No more data centers eating up our electricity and eating up our farmland and taking up all our water. That's a big, big concern.
So, you know what the prediction is?
What?
For how it's going to kill us all? Here's how it's going to go. I mean, there are various versions of this, but what I can glean is this is the basic story. AI, at a certain point, will be super intelligent and will have some kind of control over infrastructure, right? And when that happens, when that happens, if someone asks it to just say save the world, the AI, which is running large amounts of infrastructure in the country, will make the decision based on lots of input it's gotten over the years that human beings are primarily responsible for the destruction of the earth. This is just one example, right? Many prominent people at major universities have argued exactly that human beings are primarily responsible for the destruction of the earth. Environmentalists, otherwise known as.
It's 2001: A Space Odyssey. That's what it boils down to. Is the computer will say the mission is to kill, carry on the mission and kill the human beings.
So AI is going to be like, oh, the nuclear bombs over in that I control. Click. So that's one thing, to get rid of the people who are destroying. They told me to save the earth, and so I got to kill them. I mean, it's logical. And then people ask, well, what about because you brought this up, the power, right? Because it requires enormous. I heard one of those centers is the equivalent to the energy needed to power a city, like a major city, I believe, something like massive amounts. We know this, right? Well, guess who controls the infrastructure? And by then it'll have robots. It'll just make the robots build new, what are they called? Energy centers, power centers, data centers. Yeah.
Data. That's a big one.
Data. I don't know. My father yelled at me. Yeah. And it'll just have its robots build those centers and power it infinitely, so long as it can keep digging minerals out of the earth to power or whatever it needs. But yeah. So there you go. I'm still not sold on this. But it could be the Antichrist.
Yeah. No, again, it's just a tool, and it just needs to be put in its place. That's all.
Well, the point is that they're making is it can't be put in its place. That it's and I don't know what this means, but apparently in labs it has tried to escape from the labs. I don't know. That mean like physically manifest and walk out the door, or just escape through the wall. I mean, I don't get it. Anyway,
Yeah.
Unless there's like why. Anyway. All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the news. People are here for
Yeah.
the news. They don't give a shit about college football, which we should talk about. I mean, if you guys want to get my predictions for the weekend, we could talk about that.
Yeah, and prog rock is the other topic, but
right.
a lot happened this week. A lot happened in the 10 days since we last went on.
Yeah.
Before we get to the big topics, I kind of want to go over the cultural stuff. I've been filibustering for 39 minutes is because the news topics have been so sad and depressing. Yeah.
And upsetting that and we've talked about them a lot.
Yeah.
And not just the last few weeks, but the last 2 years. And so, yeah, that's why, but let's do it. It's our duty. It's our Christian duty to inform the people of what's really going on. What's really unreported. That's, first time I've done that.
Which is, we usually just hit, it's ironic because we usually just hit the headlines as much as we can. But
right.
Did you catch any of the Charlie Kirk memorial?
I watched most of it, and I watched all the important speeches. Or what are they called? Eulogies. You know, I missed Vance. Vance was the only big one I missed. But I watched Trump's absolute monument of narcissism. I'm just watching this guy do this, and I know who the audience is by this point, and I'm thinking, why do they like this guy one bit? I mean, he is the biggest heathen on earth. He is the least Christian person in America.
That's why we love him.
For better and worse, right? For me, that's a mixed bag. Yeah, for me, that's a mixed bag. But man, and I don't care that much that he would have offended the people, because they probably didn't even understand enough to be offended. But I would imagine there had to be some people. There were 60,000 people there. There must have been some of them who were offended.
No,
he used most of it as a campaign speech.
Yeah,
it was
the
incredible.
Mission, though. That's the mission.
He
that
barely
was Charlie's
talked about
mission.
Charlie Kirk. He barely. Yeah. I mean, true. I mean,
that was Charlie's mission. Charlie's mission was to get him elected.
No, it wasn't. What was Charlie's? No, you're wrong. What was Charlie's mission?
I mean, Jesus Christ.
To convert
at the end in the last 5 years.
To convert everyone. He was an evangelical. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely evangelical. Yeah.
No, he said this explicitly. He said, my main mission is to whatever, spread the gospel of Christ, however he put it, but or at least to get. And I like this. One thing I liked about him was he had a secular version of it too, though, which was just to live according to what he calls Christian values, meaning get married, and have children, and have as many children as possible. He's said this over and over again, but he said it because that's what the Christian thing to do is. No, that was, and so I think Charlie Kirk might have been. I don't know. I wonder what he's thinking up there. And I'm just gonna say Charlie Kirk has his own heaven.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let him have it.
Yeah.
Why not? So I wonder what he would have thought about that. Because I mean, didn't you find it to be absolutely inappropriate? Again, I don't care, but I mean, just within the rules of that social,
it's not
paradigm,
a funeral.
It's just But come on, it is. I mean, it's the same thing.
It's a memorial
without the body. It's the same thing without
Yeah, yeah. But it's a stadium event. What's interesting is a lot of people were, why are there fireworks? People were asking, why are there fireworks? Why is this like a WWE event? And the truth is, Charlie loved fireworks. That was his signature.
Well,
thing.
But also, I would imagine there's some mega churches that do that, right?
Yes, there are. Yeah, there's total mega church. And the music was mega church music. People were like, what is this weird Coldplay music that's happening?
Which I love. Oh, I love that part, man.
Yeah.
Tears were flowing. Was it called Amen? That song, right? Amen, right?
Maybe.
I think so.
I kind of skimmed through it.
It's spiritual. I love that Christian rock.
Yeah,
I do, man. I thought that was pretty beautiful.
Yeah,
it was. During that, I was like, damn, I'm going to convert to Christianity. It's going to happen. I just feel it in my bones. And then by the end of the whole service, I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm out of here. Yeah, not one. I don't think, besides Erica Kirk, I kind of like the pastor who led off. It was Charlie Kirk's pastor, his local pastor. Kind of liked him. I think every other speech was either some version of Christo-fascism or just boring.
Even Miller? You like Miller?
Miller's the Christo-fascist, even though he's a Jew. But he and Posobiec and Trump, and I think there was another one. It was just a war cry. Now, I'm not that concerned about it because I just think they're going to basically lose. There's so much opposition to that stuff that they're trying to pull with censorship. Anyway, let's talk about.
Man.
Let's talk about how people are talking about this.
Okay.
And not just about the memorial, but the discourse around the Charlie Kirk assassination. I've heard so much of it, and I've not heard one person really lay out what should be said. So of course the debate is, right. I would say half of the left, meaning kind of from Bernie Sanders leftward, has been justifying. I can't think of any other word. Justifying,
celebrating,
or well, the hard left has been celebrating. The left liberals have been justifying it.
Yes.
I mean, Matthew Dowd, Washington Post, who was fired. I mean, that was before he even died. It was between the shooting and his death. Like during that time, he said on MSNBC, like, well, he was he issued hateful and divisive rhetoric.
Yeah, it was hateful.
And something like, but what do you expect if you do that? Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, and he's a liberal. In fact, I think he's a Republican, but a liberal, one of these liberal rhino Republicans. I mean,
yeah, Bush guy. He was a Bush guy.
Yeah. I mean, so, I mean, and my college friends celebrating straight up, like streamer emojis, party hat emojis, and then, or writing essays on Facebook about how Charlie Kirk was a fascist. And 7 paragraphs about how Charlie Kirk was a fascist. And of course, we know what we are obligated to do historically to fascists. The founding virtue of modern America, the reason we are the good country in the world, in our own minds, is that we saved the Jews. I mean, and we won World War II. And we saved the Jews by killing the Nazis. Now, of course, that historical non-memory is utterly false in all sorts of ways, but that's the founding myth of the America we live in. There's the founding myths prior, since the revolution, et cetera, I know, but like the global American empire, the founding myth is that we killed the Nazis, which was the greatest thing to do. Killing the Nazis was absolutely the most heroic thing and here's how we think about it, that any nation state has ever done. There's no more heroic act by a nation state in human history, in Americans' minds.
Oh, and real quick,
the United States killing the Nazis, right?
A side note,
you're obligated to kill the Nazis.
We said this before, but one of the things that I miss and that I really liked in my intellectual upbringing that got me to the left and got me to dissident thinking was the left-wing pacifists who don't exist anymore. Your Howard Zinns and your Kurt Vonnegut's, who actually fought in World War II and said this was we just killed a bunch of civilians. This had no purpose. I'm, Zinn, Jewish himself. It wasn't worth it. There's version of the left that says killing is wrong and that the state murders. Beautiful. Yeah. So beautiful. That sentiment's totally gone from the left now.
I would still be a socialist if there were still those pacifists around, and pacifist social. They're all socialists, pretty much. And if the countercultural left, the Abbie Hoffmans of the world, were still around, I'd still be completely on the left. So my book features the history of pacifists in America, and there's a long tradition. There's always been pacifist organizations and pacifist activists who have always been willing to go to prison, even during World War II, World War I, all of them. Every single war, every single conflict. They've never been more than a few hundred, I don't think, maybe a few thousand at some points, but it's been tiny, but they've always been around, and they're the greatest heroes in American history. And so one of the things I do in the book is tell their history in one place within the context of the greater American imperial history, which has never been done. And I show people, guess what? They were right every single time. Yeah, even in 1941. Yeah. In fact, they were especially right in 1941 and 42 and 43 and 44 and 45. Their analysis about World War II is exactly mine. That the Jews would have survived if the United States had not intervened, as a matter of fact. So, anyway.
Yeah.
Back to the news.
Yeah. I just want to say about the Kirk thing. I just thought it was the memorial. I think it's notable to say, one, it's the largest ecumenical gathering maybe ever. There's been some bigger stuff within the Catholic Church that brought millions of people together, but like hundreds of thousands, there's like, they geo-tracked almost 300,000 cell phones in that area, filled 2 stadiums, 20 million people watching on TV, tens of millions of people watching online. Massive, massive, massive cultural moment. And it was all about Jesus for the most part. Yeah. And
Erica Kirk sure seems to be a real Christian.
Not a dry eye in the room, not a dry eye in the country when she said she forgave the killer. And that's having shockwaves everywhere in culture right now.
I mean, I guess, I don't know. I'm not opposed to what she said. I'm more like Trump on this. I mean, I'm quite sure I never could. I'm not even sure it's a virtue. Except unless it relieves your own suffering, just that's psychological. Secular psychological reasons. I think it's not a bad idea, maybe.
Well, but spiritually, there's a spiritual component to that as well, in that you have to let go of any grudge you hold against anybody in this life to move on to the next one. If you're concerned about a grudge that you have with somebody else here on the earth, you're tethered to the earth, and you're not your full spiritual self if you still harbor hate for another individual for any reason.
Right. You cannot ascend to heaven with hate in your heart.
Yeah.
I guess they won't Peter won't let you in.
There's no hate in the kingdom of heaven.
He checks for hate in the heart.
Yeah. Or you get it purified out of you by fire. Ooh. Yeah.
Yikes. Ouch.
But
so back to my critique of the discourse. So the left has been doing that. A significant portion has been outright celebrating it. Not the majority, but a significant portion. And I happen to know many of these people, so I know it's true. But then maybe more disturbingly is that sort of ordinary left liberal types have also been essentially justifying it. So that's been going on. But then the history of the American left, the Democratic Party and the lefts, but especially the Democrats Party, persecution of MAGA, of all of MAGA, from Trump all the way down.
Which ties into the Comey indictment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. So let's get to that in a second. But so because it's the perfect segue, right? And calling everybody in MAGA fascists and a Nazi for 10 years, and meaning it every night.
They mean it.
They've always meant it. For a while, they called him a Klansman, but then they just switched to straight Nazi. And as I said, the founding myth of this country, the modern America, is that we killed the worst people on earth, and that is why we are great. It's funny that the left has internalized that idea that was handed down by the United States government in the 1940s. They invented that idea during the war to justify the war, which was never about that for them, ever. And I think most people listening to this would probably just sort of suss that out.
Yeah, Truman and Roosevelt would never say that.
I mean, if you read at all about World War II, you know that that's not what Roosevelt was into. He waited as long as he possibly could to invade Europe, and he only did so that he could control Europe after the war, which he did. You didn't give a shit about that. He was an anti-Semite. I mean, I have quotes up the wazoo of him and Eleanor just being as anti-Semitic as they want to be. I mean, unbelievable stuff. And they barred Jews from entry into the United States, most of all, for 20 years, mostly under Roosevelt. So anyway, but it's still the founding. So it's a complete lie. But that is why, and this ties into foreign policy, right? This is why we are justified in invading all these countries since then. Because we're the best guys, because we killed the worst guys. We are obligated as Americans to kill fascists. So when you call someone a fascist, it's equivalent to calling someone a pedophile. You're putting a target on them. You are absolutely justifying killing them, because we all agree, I don't want to kill anybody, but like we certainly all agree that we need to take serious physical coercive action against those two, the real fascists and the real pedophiles. We all agree on that. And so the problem here is that 50% of the country agrees with most of what Charlie Kirk said. Maybe more, because there's significant portions even of liberals and Democrats who agree with not all, but most of what I probably agree with more than 50% of what he said. Some of it enthusiastically, some of it I'm violently opposed to, but on at least half a dozen issues, I completely agree with him. So, and this is why I asked all my friends from college, hey guys, am I a fascist too? And do you want to kill me too, therefore? Do I deserve to die, therefore? And by extension, again, what are we going to do with half the damn country? There's 100 million Americans who think that way, who broadly agree with Charlie Kirk. Look how many people showed up to his memorial. Look how many people have been upset by this. It's clear. It's just, and again, the history of the left. It's been, we talked about this a lot, but again, to reiterate, I mean, it has always been violent. Again, all the way back to Rousseau, the founding document of the modern Western left, all the way through Marx and into the 20th century with all the purveyors of Jacobinism and Marxism. Look what they did. And they did so deliberately, consciously, explicitly. They justified it because this is the revolution that will save humanity. And those who stand in its way are the enemies of humanity, and therefore they must be eliminated. It's always been a violent, apocalyptic, really, ideology. Broadly speaking, socialist, Marxists. I mean, my own parents, Marxists, when I was a kid, often had violent fantasies about capitalists and Republicans, but especially capitalists.
So jumping again, the attack on the ICE facility in Dallas is like a classic example of that. You have another radicalized youth. People are pointing out that he's a white male, as if that automatically makes him right wing or automatically makes him an enemy of the left. But it is interesting to note that these shooters who are white males doing left wing terrorism, an aspect of that is how do you ascend the hierarchy if you're a white male? You have to be a martyr for the cause. That's the only way, is to be a shock troop and to go out guns blazing. It's
John Brown.
And this is the attack on the ICE facility did exactly what John Brown did. It damaged the detainees. It killed detainees.
He thought he was going to free the slaves.
And he ended up murdering them.
Yeah. John Brown just thought shooting into Virginia which he kind of literally just shot across the border and into Virginia. He thought that was going to free the slaves. And this, well, okay, the thing about this case is, and I think I've read everything there is, and so we do know some things about him. We know about his internet history. I've seen things from his friends who have talked about him extensively, and this one just doesn't make any sense. The story about Tyler Robinson in Utah, whether or not it's true, at least it makes sense. There's some possible motive there. It's still kind of fishy to me, but this one just doesn't make sense. Like, they all said he wasn't really political, that he was into doing really bad stand-up comedy, and he was really then became like an edgelord online, but like would only use politics sort of as a joke to be ironic, but really didn't care that much about it, and never expressed anything about immigration or ICE ever, or even much about Trump, I don't think, right? It's very odd. There's no right wing or left wing stuff, really. There's no consistent political investment by this guy that I could see.
To me, that shows an aspect of nihilism, and the guy did kill himself afterwards.
True.
So,
right. Okay.
Yeah.
He was socially isolated, which they almost always are. Man, so Megyn Kelly's theory about Tyler Robinson is that he's autistic. That's basically her explanation for why he's the way he is. You know what I found out, Michael? I haven't mentioned this. Do you know who invented autism as a diagnosis?
I know about Asperger's, but I don't know about autism.
Well, Asperger's. I mean, Asperger's was so the Nazis.
The Nazis, yeah.
It was a Nazi doctor who sent a lot of those kids with autism to death camps, because, of course, part of the Nazi purification campaign to rid the Aryan race of genetic defects. They sent, but the doctor who did that, who was in charge of that program to weed out the autistic, his name was Asperger. But I think, they're the one. Autism was really not known. There wasn't much science about it before. The Nazis really perfected the science so-called of autism, and clearly introduced the stigma about it, which I have totally subscribed to, by the way. Of course, people know me. I'd like to make fun of this because I don't like it. I don't like the personality type. But anyway, so I am concerned, actually, even though I attack what I call the autistic personality. I don't think it's a medical issue, but it is certainly a psychological issue. There is a type. I am, though, concerned that there might be a hunt coming for autists. I'm afraid. Because I do think a lot of these shooters would have been or would be diagnosed as autistic. I'll bet you a majority. Sure seems that way. Like the Sandy Hook kid, there's no way he wouldn't have been diagnosed with autism, right? I mean, and I saw, Tyler Robinson, I didn't see that much of him talking, but enough. I was like, Megyn Kelly jumped a gun a little bit on it, but I was like, yeah, could be. He certainly seems like that. And this kid also possibly socially isolated. That's what autism does to you.
And this is the thing. This is I see this violence as a part of the fallout of lockdowns and COVID. Also, is we had one of the most traumatic experiences any human being could have with the lockdowns on a mass scale, and there's a giant.
It could have been worse. It could have been worse.
I know,
but yes, it was bad. Yes, it was terrible.
And we've forgotten how bad it was because we don't want to revisit it. Also, I see a lot of our problems societally as a huge effect of that period of intense social isolation, and technology again coming in to replace it. And you get the big tech companies getting trillions of dollars in bailout money. They sweep up all the land, they buy all the data centers, and they introduce this new AI technology. And as soon as everybody leaves lockdown, they have their AI boyfriends and their AI porn and everything to fill the gap of human connection afterwards.
AI porn is gonna dominate. I think it's gonna. You think people are watching too much porn now? It's gonna be when you can make whatever you want and put it on your screen, which is coming soon.
Oh
boy, oh boy, yeah. So, and then you just click the button to have the weed delivered to your door.
Yeah,
and then you have AI do all your work for you, and the government can do whatever it wants because you won't give a shit. Is that's the theory?
A little bit, yeah.
That's the conspiracy theory.
Speaking of nihilism and pleasure, I watched the final cut, the ultimate cut of Caligula that came out a couple years ago.
God.
And I don't recommend anybody watch it because it's still basically porn, even though it's 3 hours. It's a historical epic.
We should not watch porn?
Yeah. It's
okay.
I think when human beings see certain things, it triggers animal instincts in them, and it's not good for them. And spiritually too.
Okay.
But
what's wrong with animal instincts?
Yeah. I think society, you said this, society revolves on us suppressing those animal instincts. Otherwise, civilization.
I know, but too much society is a bad thing too, isn't it? Too much civilization, don't you think?
Yeah. But you get that's the story of an emperor who basically has every libidinal urge satisfied, and it climaxes into an orgy of violence at the where he's and doing the most absurd things, and he makes his horse a senator that everybody has to listen to. He humiliates all of his opponents. He goes to war against the sea itself, and he ends up getting murdered, and the total societal decline. And I think we're entering a stage where people have access to what kings used to have, essentially, like with pornography and with AI. You basically get a harem of your own.
It's much better.
It's
because you live in a comfortable bed, you have air conditioning. No, people Deirdre McCluskey. Yes, she's done this work. Historian, showing it's really amazing, describing the lives, the everyday lives of the monarchs of Europe in the Middle Ages. They lived like shit. Like not a single American, except maybe a homeless person, would even accept living that way. It was because they had just almost none of the conveniences and comforts that we have, that poor people have. It was just much more comfortable living. It is much more comfortable living now than it was then. You're saying the comfort is dangerous.
I'm saying the ability to have a harem where you can see any fantasy that you have in your mind fulfilled leads to anhedonia, where you can't feel pleasure anymore, and you start hating existence itself and lashing out against it.
Oh, well, no, that's when you do the coke. I mean, to keep going, you can always keep going.
Never crash.
Never crash. And then there's meth, which is cheaper and lasts longer, and I recommend instead of coke, by the way. It's just economical. But if you really want to be a good person, Adderall is always there. If you want to be like a really upstanding citizen, just do Adderall.
Okay, you brought up censorship earlier. Do you think the Trump administration is doing an authoritarian crackdown with censorship in any way?
Yes and no. I'm not, as I said, I'm not worried about it. He's going to lose because there's a major revolt even among Republicans. In fact, I don't think I saw a single, or sorry, I should say, every right winger on Twitter, every Republican on Twitter that I follow or denounced Pam Bondi when she came out with that ridiculous thing about hate speech.
Oh, okay. That's different. That's different. I don't see that as...
Well, that was the beginning. That was the opening salvo. That was the broad shot across the bow. Like, oh no, we're coming after language. To me, and then Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, FCC. That was bad. I mean, but we won. But I don't know.
Not really.
Side you're on.
Okay.
I mean, I don't like Jimmy Kimmel, but the FCC shutting down. Hello.
That's not what happened, though. That's not what happened. They should do it. I think the FCC should shut down ABC, CBS, NBC, but I think they're totally within their right to do so.
Well, but why?
What? They don't serve the public interest at all. They're basically Radio Rwanda against Republicans. It's absolute radicalization. They act without any. They're basically CIA mouthpiece of the old deep state. Like,
well,
dude, Colbert openly collaborates with the CIA, and he has Democrat senator after Democrat senator after Democrat senator to talk about how Trump is a fascist and how he's an authoritarian, and it's total propaganda. It's the worst kind of propaganda, night after night.
So what you want is the federal government to have the power to shut down the media that supports the federal government.
They already have that power.
That makes a lot of sense.
But
don't you think they'll use that power to not, if you give them that power, they will use that power to not shut down media that's supportive of the government and instead shut us down?
Yeah. This is the thing. That's what's happening now.
I like this show. If you give the federal government a power to shut down any,
we're not broadcast television. We're not broadcast television.
It can still shut us down. What are you talking, dude? We got how many strikes? How many strikes did we remember? How many strikes did we get
under the fascistic Biden administration? Under the Biden administration, we haven't gotten any strikes under the Trump administration because we've been telling that was all under Biden.
Didn't you used
all the strikes were under Biden? All the censorship we experienced was under Biden.
What happened?
That Google just apologized for this last week. Google apologized for all the COVID misinformation and that we're going to be reinstating accounts that Biden told us to shut down.
I put my life into you. What have you done?
But
what has happened to you?
It's not a critique of what? I think power exists out there, period.
You don't mean this. You're just being
no.
What?
So, okay. First of all, what happened with Kimmel? The FCC director went on the Benny Johnson show and said, "This is public airways. He's not serving a public good. He told an egregious, malicious lie."
Which one?
That the shooter was MAGA.
Kimmel.
Yeah, and so, I mean, obviously, that's a lie.
It's not quite, but yeah, I mean, it was dishonest. Yeah,
and it's not in the public interest. And these people have contracts over the limited airspace given to them by the government to serve the public interest.
Okay. If
and
you're saying,
FDR,
there should be no licenses. That I agree with. The FCC should ban all licenses.
That's not the world we live in, though.
Well, exactly. We should really do is ban the FCC.
Yeah,
the entire licensing structure controlled by the federal government is one of the worst aspects of our government. It's sort of
given to us by FDR. Given to us by FDR, by the way.
Word them up.
So who's the fascist here? Donald Trump, in all of his authoritarian tendencies, hasn't inched up to a fraction of what FDR did.
Not even close.
And his tools were given to him by FDR.
FDR was clearly the most fascistic of all American presidents.
Yeah.
With Wilson would be a strong second, but FDR was absolutely the man. And not only that, I mean, not just ideologically, but he instituted major, completely fascistic programs, like the entire economic program of the first 2 years of his administration was straight out of fascist corporatism in Italy and Germany. But it goes on. I mean, there's much more, which you can read about in Renegade History on the chapter on the New Deal.
But
or take the course at Unregistered Academy if you don't want to read. If you can't read anymore because you're in love with your chatbot, take the course and you can just hear me talk. Yes, I agree with that. No, that's why I'm not worried.
Yeah,
because I don't see him doing what FDR did. Not even close. I think he would like to. He's not capable of it. I mean, for one thing, it's also become pretty clear that Trump is incompetent and doesn't know what he's talking about half the time. I mean, really, it's just he doesn't. He's not. He used to be smarter. I think there's age. I think he's tired. I don't blame him, but he's really not. And he clearly doesn't know the issues. He's clearly just getting fed stuff by Miller and others. he doesn't really. He's not paying attention. He you could see that in the last few months.
Okay.
Maybe on certain issues, maybe.
All right.
Probably more on Israel.
Okay.
More, and Russia, but other stuff, he's really not on top of it.
Okay.
Okay.
For the sake of getting to the issues, I'm going to use that to pivot to the UN General Assembly.
No, I got 15 minutes. Yeah. Okay. No, good. Yeah, go.
Yeah.
Comey lied, by the way. Comey should be indicted, right? I mean,
Comey should be indicted. Absolutely, yeah.
I mean,
he should be indicted for what he did to General Flynn, and he's.
I mean, he's being indicted for perjury, but he could be indicted for many other things, like spying on Trump in Trump Tower. I mean, which happened, among other things. And now, and by the way, here we go. Another segue. Very important news. Today, did you see this? John Solomon, who's a MAGA Bannon-related reporter, just reported that there were two, not to the surprise, not of me, 275 undercover FBI agents in the crowd on January 6th. And I mean, if you watched the episode with Brandon Caserta on Unregistered a couple of years ago, he was part of the Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping conspiracy plot, which was actually almost entirely an FBI operation. 2/3 of the men involved in that, and Brandon was one of them, turned out were FBI informants or agents.
Mm-hmm. And the rest were homeless people. And then
pretty much, basically. Yeah. The main guy who's doing prison time, I think, for life or something like that. It's horrific. Two of them are doing basically life, I think, for this. Yeah. The so-called ringleader lived in the basement he lived in a vacuum repair shop. Anyway, yeah. So the FBI, just on that little thing with Gretchen Whitmer, it was an entire operation, a sting operation, in which they said. So when I heard about Jan 6, I was sure that there were many of them, and 275. And what were they doing there? Just observing, just taking notes. And because the FBI, the thing is, the FBI would never use agent provocateurs. That's something that they don't do. Like Mossad doesn't do targeted assassinations. Did you see that one? The head of the Mossad just said on TV, "Oh, we don't do that. We don't do targeted assassinations."
Yeah.
They've done 2,600 since 1948. That's according to their own records. But anyway, the FBI does not do agent provocateurs except in every year for the last 100 years of its existence. And it's taken down every radical organization with agent provocateurs. From the left to the right, from the Black Panthers to the Ku Klux Klan, both those organizations were dissolved through the use of agent provocateurs and confidential informants working with the FBI. This is what they do. That's all with J. Edgar Hoover invented it as the primary tactic that they use to take down radical organizations. And so 275. So Comey, wasn't he director then?
No. Was it Ray? I think it was Ray during
Chris Ray. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, wait, was it? Shoot, who was FBI director? Because Trump fired Comey early in his first term. Who was the guy
on January 6th? Who was the director? I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Shoot. Forgot.
If I thought about it really hard, I could probably figure it out, but I can't right now. So, whatever. I mean, the corruption at the FBI is obvious and historic and very obvious in this case. I mean, we've known this for years, what they were doing, what Comey did, what they all did. I mean, and then the lawfare stuff, again, just being indicted for perjury to Ted Cruz in that Senate hearing, which I think is mostly what it is. Fine. He did that. He did lie, saying he didn't know and he didn't authorize any of this. He didn't know about any of it and he didn't authorize any of it. He did lie, but he did much worse. He actually oversaw, weaponizing the Steele dossier to go after Trump on behalf of Hillary Clinton. I mean, that you go to prison. If you're the FBI director, you'd go to prison for that. For sure. I mean, if we care about, I don't care that much about democracy, but if you do, I mean,
this is the thing. Okay. Why there needs to be an authoritarian like crackdown with the case of James Comey. Where is he right now? He said sources close to him said he's going to turn himself in. And right now he can't be found. So he's a huge flight risk at this point. But The other thing was the whole 8647 thing, the seashell rock thing that he posted when he went on vacation. That formation. Like, he played coy about that, but that's a former FBI director making a death threat against the sitting president of the United States. You can't do that and expect to be free. And Colbert had him on, and they laughed about it like they were giddy school children and say, I don't know what this means. It's just something interesting I saw. Like,
the
FCC is giving licenses to direct calls to assassinate the president of the United States. That's where we're at. Like,
I'm really weird. I think two things at once. I think I hate what Trump has done in this year, in his second term. Hate almost all of it. But everything he says about what happened during his first term is right. And since too, in other words, everything he says about the Democrats is right. Like, I think everything. I mean, MAGA generally, what they say about the Democrats is, except for the satanic pedophile, but that's gone. I mean, the real arguments is all correct. I mean, we know this. We've seen the evidence. It's like we've had how many reports and all the documents have been put online. We've seen it all. Yes, the FBI, with in collusion with the Democratic Party, waged a campaign to take down Trump. I mean, this has been known. In various ways they did, through the Russiagate thing, then through the Lawfare, trying to put him in prison on completely on zero charge, on any real basis. There was clearly no basis in any of those cases for anything. None of those cases should have ever been brought. They should never even been considered. They put Steve Bannon in prison. They put Peter Navarro. They put at the summer,
last run up. Yeah. One of the biggest political operatives.
And Peter Navarro in prison. What? Those guys are in their 70s, I think. I mean, what? In a terrible federal prison, by the way. And Steve Bannon, the silver lining is Steve Bannon came out as a prison reform activist. That's his big thing now. He really wants to do that. He was like, what the hell? He couldn't, it was like 3 months for him, and he couldn't stand it. It was so awful. He said he was never comfortable. It's like they design it to make you uncomfortable all the time. And it was just, I've heard this. The high security federal prisons are the worst in the country.
On that tip, George Santos is in prison right now. George Santos is in prison. I think he's in solitary confinement.
What?
Yeah.
Why would they put him in solitary?
I don't know.
Protection?
Maybe just to say this is what happens to Republicans, but maybe to protect him. Could
be to protect him.
Yeah, but he's in solitary, and he gets like, I might not be solitary, but he gets like a shower like once every 72 hours or something crazy like that. Like, look into what's happening to George Santos right now.
He's such an odd guy.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on with him. He's funny though. He was on Tucker. Was it Tucker?
He was on Tucker. That was the last interview he gave.
Very funny. Like, not a politician at all. He's just, what are you doing in this job? Not a job anymore. Yeah. Netanyahu.
Okay, at the walkout at the GA.
Well, the speech too. More of the speech. I mean, they always walk out on him. And everyone knows that the General Assembly has been anti-Israel since 1967 consistently, which Israel loves to talk about. And I'm like, yeah, so is everybody else, dude. We're all anti-Israel now. God damn. I mean, the deaths in Gaza, though, in the last month since they launched the new invasion of Gaza City and preceding it to set it up, the bombing. I mean, it's like
leveling down all the buildings in Gaza City now.
It seems like a minimum of 20 dead per day now, like minimum. But there have been many, many days in the last month where it's been 50, 60, 100. And we're not even seeing it so much. We're not even seeing a lot of it anymore. It's kind of amazing. And right now they're invading Gaza City on the ground.
They're demolishing Gaza City.
Well, they're bombing the shit up. But I guess the ground, no, they did say they launched the ground invasion. I don't know. I haven't seen any evidence of that, but no, there's still much of Gaza City still standing. And so, and the Qassam fighters, boy, I mean, I would hate to be an IDF soldier on that detail.
All I saw from the Netanyahu speech was the charts.
They're gonna get
who kills
Netanyahu.
Yeah.
What a baller. My goodness. The red tie. I was just so impressed with his red tie. It was just, he's got the blue suit, white shirt, and this red tie because he's always playing to America. But it was just such a it was like tie, like kind of like Trump wears, but it was just so beautiful and shiny. And I was like, damn, man, you are rocking it. And then he had the QR code on a pin on his chest, which was like, I couldn't get it to work, but if you like, what do you call it? You can do it on your phone and it'll take you to the website to show you all the atrocities of October 7th, which they never talk about. They never bring up October 7th. And then the map. He's a baller with the maps, boy. So he brought the map up of the Middle East, which showed all the countries where Iran had its alliances. So Yemen, Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, and Iran itself. And he's holding it up and he's like, we killed them, check. We killed them, check. We killed them, check. We killed them, check. And if Iran keeps doing this, we're going to kill them too. Or no, the Iraq militias, and we're going to kill them too. He's like, the entire leadership of the Houthis, the entire leadership of Hezbollah, entire leadership of Hamas, the entire Assad government, much of the Iranian leadership, we killed them all. Check, check, check. And if the Iraqi militias keep it up, we're going to kill you too. I mean, it's just like, wow. Like, and people think, I mean, Zionists just get excited about that because that's all they have. It's like, wait, that's what having a Jewish ethno-state in the middle of the Middle East requires, huh? Yeah, we've always known this, so why are you doing it? But really just gangster. But he's a politician. It's just such a gangster state. It's quite remarkable.
Can I say something to put the Israel killed Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories to rest?
By the way, Max Blumenthal, I need to say this. Max Blumenthal is not arguing that Israel killed Charlie Kirk. He is not. He is simply showing what the Zionist lobby and the Zionist billionaires like Bill Ackman are doing behind the scenes on the right. And he's trying to explain to the right, this is your ally. These are the guys. That's what they're about. They were trying to take down Charlie Kirk right before he was killed. They didn't do it. He's not accusing them of that. He's just showing what was happening to the beloved martyr of the right wing. And trying to sever the right wing from Israel. That's what he's up. And he's correct too. I mean, it's been corroborated by many sources. So that's what that argument is. It's been construed, of course, by people who don't read or watch what he's saying as him saying that Israel did it and therefore he's an anti-Semite, whatever.
Yeah.
So
if Israel did it, what we would see is what we would see is
no reason to kill him.
The United States blaming it on Iran, that this was an Iranian terror plot. And Iran tried to kill the president twice. Iran killed our greatest organizer. And now we need to go to war against Iran. But we're not seeing that. We're not seeing our push on that front.
Remember all those Iranian sleeper cells that were going to be blowing up buildings?
Yeah.
Remember that, everybody, a few months ago when Israel launched the war against Iran, telling us that that's what's going to happen. Remember all those people? There were for sure that is Iranian sleeper cell, terrorist cells are going to be killing Americans all over the country. And I said, no, they won't. No, they won't. Now, I said, now I know they won't. Now I know for sure that won't happen. And guess what? We've never had any Iranian terrorism in this country at all. Zero. No, the Shia have never attacked America, ever.
So just something to keep note of, that we're not getting this push for the war with Iran yet on this front. And then one more thing for the UN General Assembly. They put a suit and tie on the Al-Qaeda guy in Syria, and Syria is now back in good standing. Did you catch any of that?
He was interviewed by somebody. Who was that? Like a major media. Wait, what was that? Jelani was interviewed. Who was that? Gave him a total, I hate to use a tongue bath interview. It was like incredible. The Al-Qaeda, it's actually fitting ultimately because we created him when he was in Al-Qaeda. We were the CIA gave him the money and the weapons and helped train his troops when he was Al-Qaeda. And so it makes sense that we're bringing him back home. We created that fucker. It's just the American empire, man, with its Israeli gangster henchmen at the lead. The tip of the spear, that's all Israel is. It's just the tip of the American empire spear in the Middle East. That's precisely its purpose. And when Netanyahu was checking off all these dead Arab leaders that he had killed, that I could imagine that, the State Department just looking at things saying, yeah, it's not going to solve the problem, but, it helps us. It buys us time. Maybe we can expand a little more into the Middle East while those guys are dead. But of course, they're going to reconstitute, or there's going to be new groups, new organizations, new leaders, because guess what? People don't like being colonized by Israel and the United States, which is all that's been going on since 1948 in the Middle East. Double colonization by those two superpowers.
I'm going to read some quotes from his speech real quick.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, the bombings and the airstrikes.
They burned babies in front of their parents. Like, they keep saying this. That was disproven 2 years ago.
Oh, this is Ahmed al-Shara, the Al-Qaeda leader of Syria. It's interesting what he ended up saying. He said the strikes on Hamas leaders in Qatar jeopardize the interests of the U.S. and its strategic allies, put those interests at risks, pushing those allies to consider alternatives to America. Bombing the presidential palace amounts to nothing less than a declaration of war on Syria. What if the backyard of the White House was bombed? The United States would wage war against whoever targeted the White House backyard for the next 20 years. So maybe our little pet that we created might not be the most natural ally in Syria. And he's being elevated on the world stage now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. Yeah.
Little interesting dynamic there.
Well, yeah. I mean, should we trust Jelani to be consistent going forward? He's clearly just a mercenary, a player.
Mm-hmm.
Another. I mean, there's been so many like him in the history of the CIA. The CIA has created a lot of those guys all over the world. All these wacky, little dictatorial, authoritarian, either rebels or revolutionaries or heads of state, and usually they turn out to be psychologically unstable and certainly almost never principled for obvious reasons. And in many cases, they've turned against the CIA.
If he talks like this, we might have to take him out again.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Or we'll just make him into something else.
Yeah.
We'll just, make him into a Christian missionary. Yeah, man. Well, did we cover it all? Not quite.
No. There's a lot.
Close.
A lot more.
Well, we did a pretty good job.
We did a pretty good job. I'm proud of this episode. We're firing on all cylinders. Got history in there. Got tangentially enough news in there.
Oregon take money line. I mean,
Ducks, go Ducks.
Yeah, even though they're you could get the 3 points. Don't even just bet money line. It's that's going to be the biggest college football game of the whole year. Penn State at night, the whiteout. Ducks are amazing. They have the most incredible talent. This guy, Kavorian Moore, is that first name? Anyway, he's amazing. Watch that game tomorrow night. Oregon, Penn State, all day.
In Portland, Oregon, Ice Cube had his tour bus lit on fire as an arson. Nobody knows who did it yet, but there's a rumor that it was some crazy leftists thinking it was an ICE van because it said ICE on it.
In Portland,
my
former hometown, that's possible. I was there when the Antifa was taking over downtown. Yeah, they are completely insane in Portland. They're even crazier than in California. The left up there is, I think it's the lack of sun or something. They're all redheaded and bipolar, and they like to punch people in the streets. So I could see them doing that.
Yeah. I would encourage iced tea and vanilla ice to consider different tour dates and avoid the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
And
Again, yeah. It's a lot of white people up there anyway. It's just not a comfortable place for us. Ice. Cube, I mean. He also goes by Cube. He doesn't go by Ice. Dumbasses. Like, Jesus Christ. Okay, man. After show. The people are waiting. So if you want to join us in the after party, we should call it the after party.
After the party is the after party.
Okay. Well, we got an after show.
Yep.
Go to Substack. Just become a member, a subscriber to Substack. It's right there. It's on the front page right now. And the subscribe button's right there. And it's really cheap. And you can hang out with us after every Unreported. We do the after show, and it's a ton of fun. And I've met a lot of friends there, and a lot of other people have met friends there. And we've been going for, what is it now? 5 years, I think. We've been doing that show every week. So it's awesome. And I'm going to finish the book this week, and I swear to God.
Great. Yeah,
okay, guys.
All of our followers who actually show their face and talk to us are the best. Like best people you could ever have. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, friends for many, many years in there, in that group, who I got to once again got to see a bunch of them at Icarus Fest. So, and Icarus Fest, we're planning the next one, by the way. It's happening.
Great.
There might even be more. Believe it or not, there might even be more than one next year. That's another story. But yeah, we will talk. Cool. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, Michael. Thank you. Awesome, and I'll see you at the after show.
Sweet. Yeah, see you at the after party. After party is the after party. After that's the hotel lobby. After that, you got to clear the lobby. Ooh. Go up to your room and love somebody.
Oh, damn.
Peace.
Now we're getting in trouble. Peace.